Light.
Ah. Welcome back, Didier. I missed you.
Hello there, Michelle. What a pleasant welcome this is. You didn't have to come all the way out here to meet me, though.
I haven't seen you in so long. And waiting inside is so cheery.
What a wonderful sister I've been blessed with. You best be careful, though. The sun is quite strong today. Mother would throw a fit if she knew you were out here in this weather.
Do not worry. I heard from a servant you would be back around now, so I haven't been out terribly long. And I know you're not one to be tardy either, Didier. I took all the necessary precautions.
Well, curses. Now I have to be absolutely certain nothing delays my next return.
Yes, indeed you will.
Well, since you're here, would you like to ride back with me?
On your horse? I would love to, but I came on horseback as well. She's tied to the tree over there.
Unlike your brothers, your horse is smart enough to follow you back.
Alright, then I suppose I shall. How was your expedition, Didier?
More than usual. Just patrols, really. No engagement to speak of.
Quiet is never bad.
I'm not sure I'll say never.
Do you think something might happen?
No. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. At least.
If you say so. Oh, yes, Mom. I mean, Mother. Said she had something important to tell you. And to see her as soon.
Now that I don't like the sound of.
I could hardly blame you. Mother has something important to tell you. Are the last words anyone wants to hear?
You've gotten feisty, haven't you?
Don't tell her I said that.
I wouldn't dream of selling out my beautiful baby sister. In fact, I beg you not to say anything to sort to her either. She can be a bit easy to set off.
If anyone, I think George's needs that warning most.
You're on fire today, Michelle. There she is. The world-renowned Castle Bollinger and a lovely home.
I'm not a child anymore, Didier. I know our estate is not nearly as large or impressive as a castle.
Used to love when they called it that.
I also used to not be 13.
13's still plenty of child. Now hold on tight. We're gonna get the rest of the way. Hiya!
Wait, slow down, Dele.
Try not to fall.
Good day, Sir Didier.
Thank you. Everyone looks well. Where is my father?
Lord Antonin's out on personal business. Should be returning tomorrow.
Thanks. Guess I just missed him. Well then, I should see what mother... What was that noise?
Ah, that would be George's.
Oh, I didn't realize he was going to be home.
Shall we check in on him?
No. This won't do it all. It needs more wild innovation and fiery passion and solemn beauty matched with a squeeze of delicate eroticism that doesn't undermine the impact of the piece as a whole. Gah! Has to be like a good kick to the marbles.
Has he finally lost his marbles?
Holy heck, well, look who it is. I didn't know you were back, D. And you know, it's uncouth to barge in on someone without knocking.
He knocked several times and called out to you through the door. I must say, Georges, it is much more uncloth to take out your frustration on inanimate objects.
Ooh, you're there too, Michelle? I couldn't see you in the shadow of this hulking barbarian. You really are a teeny tiny little gal, aren't you?
Mother will not be pleased when she sees the mess you've made of the room.
Oh, my dear Michelle. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. True art is only born in the fires of pandemonium.
Is that so?
You could at least pretend to care.
So... Would you care to explain this pandemonium?
Ooh, you wanna know? You wanna know all about the masterpiece buried in this wellspring of inspiration? You'll never be able to turn back once you know, but if you're really sure, I'll give you all the juicy deets.
I don't care that much, no. Shall we see what Mother needs to talk about, Michelle?
Yes, let's.
Hey, wait! Have you no hearts, you Philistines? Or Philistines? How do you pronounce that? You're supposed to grab me by the shoulders and beg me to hear what all the fuss is about. Wait, D, were you gonna say something?
But make you stop shouting, fine. Give me the short version.
Blah, so much for brotherly love. So the royal family's planning construction on a new chateau in the city. Guess who the king himself has to do all the paintings for it? Why, moi, of course. The great artiste Georges Bollinger.
Is that so?
What's wrong with you two? This is huge! It's huger than huge!
Would wager His Majesty did not, in fact, come within 1,000 meters of you.
Life is no fun if you limit yourself to only the truth.
I somehow doubt you're in charge of all the art either.
So, in other words, there's almost no truth to your claims.
Hey, I really was commissioned to do a piece for the new chateau.
And this disaster area is all you have to show for it.
Yep, and I don't know what to do. Chance for me to make it into the big leagues. Paint something that will go down in history as one of the great works of our time.
Perhaps it would be better if you didn't put as much pressure on yourself. You do much better work when you're relaxed.
You're brilliant, Michelle. Let's go out into town and let loose, just the three of us. That's exactly what I need right now.
I've barely had time to sit down since I got back. Oh, great. Kelly.
Ah,
Go ahead, Kelly.
Sometimes I think there might be no hope for the three of you. Not even a word to your dear mother.
Good day, Mother. My apologies. I meant to see you as soon as I return, but...
Crap, Mom's gonna flip her lid. Better get out of here before she brings her wrath out on us, Michelle.
but
Georgie? I heard every last word.
What big ears you have.
Care to repeat that?
Repeat what, my beautiful mother?
I swear, young man. So, how did your expedition go, Didier? Did you run into any trouble?
No, it proceeded without issue, thank you. Everyone returned safely by the grace of God.
That's wonderful to hear. I prayed for you every day, and it seems he heeded me. I want you to know I've quite missed you, even if Georgie and Michelle robbed me of the chance to tell you first. I'm deeply relieved to have you back in perfect health.
There's no need to be dramatic, Mother. I was never in any danger of not returning. Nonetheless, I too am...
And there's no need for you to be so stiff around your mother.
Sorry, it's good to be home, Mom.
That's more like it. Welcome home, my darling boy.
He's just looking at a grown man falling over his mother like a little boy. Maybe give him crap about it later, Michelle.
but
You really need to learn to whisper more quietly.
Where have you inherited those ears from?
I swear, you. So, Mother, Michelle tells me you have something important you want to speak with me about.
Ah, yes, that I do. I'm sure you'd like to rest after your trip, but would you come to my chambers for a bit first?
Certainly.
Ooh, what's this? Can I come too?
This is my business. Why should you be allowed to stick your nose into it?
Because it sounds like fun. Maybe it'll help me give my muse a nice kick in the rump.
It's not a private matter, so I don't mind. In fact, maybe it would be better if you were there too, Georgie.
Heck yeah! Coming along too, Michelle.
What? Why would I?
Oh, what am I going to do with you three? What do you think?
Of the painting. It's a fine piece, clearly not made by George A.
Would have done 10 times better. Who's the hack responsible for this rubbish?
Quiet, boy.
Does Georges have a disease where he'll die if he isn't running his mouth every waking moment or something?
Not the painting itself, the girl in the painting.
She's pretty, I suppose.
Do you like her?
What sense, Mother? Where are you going with this?
This girl is the daughter of the Castanier estate to the south of us. Or what she will look like a few years from now.
In a few years. Then she's still a child?
She is, yes, and her family is trying to complete arrangements for her marriage as early as possible.
Her marriage.
The Castaniers are a respectable family with lots of land. We have plenty to gain from this arrangement. All you need to do is say,
Mother, as I've told you on several occasions, my body and soul belong to the church. I will neither succeed father nor take a wife.
and you're firm in your decision?
Yes, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
That's very disappointing indeed. I would be so much more comfortable with you taking over the house. Well, what about you, George A? Do you have any interest in her?
I don't know, not really feeling it.
Now, George A, you do realize that Didier not becoming head means that you will be, right? So you can't make a decision like this, which will affect the future of both of our houses for generations, because you're not feeling it.
It's easy for you to say, Ma, but I can't change what appeals to me. I'll be for nothing if we couldn't hit it off and never had any kids.
And tell me, what is there not to like about her? She's a beautiful young lady.
She's pretty, sure, but I'm getting nasty vibes from that picture. Like a real sourpuss. I want someone more, cheery. I'm gonna have to spend the rest of my life with her.
I wouldn't go as far as him, but there is something about her that doesn't sit right with me. I'm not sure how to put it into words, though.
She just looks that way in the painting. I'm certain you'll find her to be a lovely girl when you meet her.
How can you be so sure? You haven't even seen her yourself. Anyway, not interested. Sorry about that.
George, speak
Anyway,
up.
not interested. Anyway, not interested, and that's that.
Such a wonderful offer, too.
Once I'm sworn in as official court artist, I'll be up to my ears in marriage offers. Something even better will come along, I promise.
I'm afraid with your attitude, this may be the last offer we ever see.
Don't you worry. We got ourselves a proud knight of the order, the most sought-after artist in the land, a brilliant, beautiful princess. That's not a recipe for success. I don't know what is.
Oh, Georgie. Is something troubling you, Michelle?
What? Oh no, nothing. My mind was wandering. That's all.
See? Look what you did, Mom. You upset Michelle by being such a worrywart.
Throwing me to the wolves, are you, my boy? Oh, dear Michelle, I'm just being cautious about our future. I'm not as worried as I may have sounded. I have the 3 most wonderful children in the world. I couldn't be more blessed. We're strong, and together, we're even stronger. I have no doubt in my mind we'll thrive and grow for generations to come.
Yeah. We'll all be together forever.
For a brief moment after walking, seeing only darkness, I forgot where it was. As my eyes adjusted and the world faded into view, a faint sense of disappointment swelled up in my breast. That was over a decade ago. A life I no longer had. And in fact, a life I couldn't be certain I ever had. For all I knew, my mind could have fabricated an entire thing. But in short order, the wave of sentimentality receded. A few years earlier, that yearning for bygone days would leave my heart in tatters. But now, I'd grown largely numb to it. This was the life I knew best. I wasn't a 13-year-old child anymore. Nor was I a girl. Nor was I a member of the Bollinger family. I was deemed a most frightful exile to a remote mansion.
Kill the accused thing.
Those were the first words uttered by the witch upon my discovering the being lying in a heap outside the front door. The witch had haunted me ever since the day I resurrected her at the top of the mansion's observation tower a few years earlier. At first, her constant whispering in my ear has been insufferable, driving me to my wit's end. I did everything I could think of to deny her existence and push her out of my life. But that too had passed. I've been drained of all will to fight against her, or, frankly, feel anything at all. No joy, no anger, no frustration, no sorrow. Perhaps that could be said to mean she had defeated me, but in retrospect, the witch caused me to encase my heart in stone, had consequently kept me from being miserable every time I received a letter from my mother. It made me think getting worked up over some stupid words on scraps or paper was a waste of time and energy. So while I wasn't at the point of gleefully cozying up to her, it was true that her presence had made my life easier.
I can't stand the sight of it. That's utterly dreadful.
The witch wanted me to kill them. But instead, I crouched down to get a better look. They seem to be dead already. It appears someone had died on my doorstep. Because the way they were clothed, I couldn't make anything out beyond the distance.
It's faint, but they're still breathing. Look, you can see their chest.
I'm surprised you noticed. I can barely tell from up close. I reached my hand out to roll them over, at which point the witch gave me an exaggerated sigh.
I wouldn't recommend touching them. They're deceased. That's why they look like a human raisin.
That was indeed one way to describe them. What first comes to
What?
mind for me, though, was something I had read in a book about how desert cultures would mummify their dead. The person on the ground looked like what I imagined a mummy did. There was under impression mummification was performed in order to preserve the bodies of higher-ranking individuals. Which is to say, you were unlikely to find one collapse on your doorstep. Ignore Morgana's warning. I put my hand on their arm. It twitched and let out a groan.
Just a stab through the heart, and they won't have to suffer any longer.
The person didn't seem to have enough strength to sit up. Barely enough to hold on to the last vestiges of life. The fingers continued to twitch, but it didn't seem to deliver it. The tall grass on which they were lying seemed to want to swallow them up.
Do it, my dear. Send that poor soul to heaven, by whatever means. Or perhaps they'll end up in hell.
They're not long for this world with or without my help.
And who's going to have to deal with a rotting corpse in a few weeks if you just leave them there?
Next month's delivery boy, presumably.
Imagine the look on his face when he finds it. Imagine what he'll tell you, your family, when he returns. It would make everyone's lives easier if you just killed them here. Bury them somewhere nearby. Let them nourish the earth with their flesh. If there's any nourishment left to be squeezed from them, that is. Or you could try luring some animals. There wouldn't be a trace of gore to clean up if you let a couple wolves up. And they'll get a nice meal out of it. So everyone wins.
I can't imagine to find much to enjoy in this pile of bones.
How cold.
You have no room to talk. You're clearly enjoying yourself.
My. What would you ever make you think that?
It's been nothing to entertain you recently. I certainly haven't been talking much. Another note has happened. I can tell you've been bored.
A few quiet weeks hardly counts as boredom compared to the years I spent in slumber.
If you say so. Brushing the witch's distractions aside, I put my hands back on the vagrant's arm, flipping over so I could get a better look. They're much lighter than I expected. Their arm was little more than flesh and bone, and the flesh felt like leather. I couldn't guess their age or even gender. They were dressed in unadorned brown robes and a cowl. One thing stood out about their dress, though: their mask. When I removed the mask, I was greeted with torn, wrinkled flesh, and eyes so sunken it was disquieting. I wasn't sure what I saw beneath it could have been called a face. Battered bandages covered their head from the nose down. What hid beneath them was in even worse condition. I couldn't tell where their nose ended and their cheeks began, and their lips were curled back into their mouth, turning into a gaping gash. Even as close as it was, I could barely make out the sound of their breathing. They almost certainly wouldn't survive much longer.
Good heavens.
As a thought which might find some compassion or heart for the dying vagrant.
Get rid of that filthy thing.
I was immediately proven wrong. Her tone of voice was like that of someone who had found rotten food in her pantry while looking for something to eat.
As I said, they're deceased. You should stay away, unless you want to end up like that. Your leg's too frail to hold you up. Your body withered, and your eyes sunken, worthless orbs. It's highly infectious.
I largely ignored the witch's whisperings. She liked toying with me, so I couldn't take what she said at face value. She was more than happy to lie and exaggerate for the sake of tormenting me. There's no guarantee the ailment was contagious at all.
So, just hurry and get rid of it. Are you listening to me?
I hoist the vagrant onto my back. A simple task even for me, past the least fit man in the world. They were smaller than me, but not child-sized. It was like I was carrying an empty sack of skin. Let's give you something to stave off your boredom.
I told you, I am not bored. Evans, I never took you for a kind of raving lunatic who helps strangers.
I wasn't bringing them in out of the goodness of my heart. This only piqued my curiosity. There was something oddly amusing about the whole twisted situation. A witch, a demon child, and a living mummy. What better place to gather them all together than a cursed mansion? I also think that some part of me wanted to see and feel death up close. Gabby.
What's going on? I can't see a thing. Have my eyes finally started going. And I was so close to that mansion. But I guess this is the end of the line for me. Wait. No. You have my vision. It's just dark as hell. Where in the world am I? I'm on a bed.
Good morning.
And who the hell is that? What's going on? I don't. Baby.
Can you not speak?
No, I can't. No. But it hurts. I was just a little startled.
By what?
The angel that's come to me at the gates. He doesn't seem to have taken that one well. Man sitting there was a curious specimen. And yeah, I know, God meet kiddo. It appeared almost as if it was part of the surrounding darkness, an ethereal being that might vanish when I next blinked. Not human, but barely something taking its form. All the more looking at him, the more it seemed like greater than him being a part of the darkness. The darkness instead radiated from him. Which is probably there, where the angel beat had come from.
This isn't the afterlife.
No, I guess it isn't. If this were heaven, I wouldn't feel like death, and there to be at least a dozen half-naked ladies hanging over me. But I hurt like hell, so I must still be alive. It's a bitch, huh? That said, though, I feel like I'd get on a lot better with a stone-faced angel like him than what I usually advertised.
The sack of bones in the bed had a voice. It's me. Had a voice like dry leaves scraping against one another. While carrying them to the room, I noticed several of their joints seemed to bend in ways they shouldn't, so I thought they might be on the older side. But upon closer inspection, that didn't appear to be the case. The way they talk makes them sound young, too. I'm gonna guess... a man? Early 20s, maybe? Damn it.
Wait, what? Just happened?
We were already having like connection issues earlier on, so.
Okay, I can't tell if that was a reaction.
No. No.
Well, it is who is dying.
Well, Michelle, you failed again.
Shut up, Mom. That's what I wouldn't call me an angel.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, I mean, they make the connections between Michelle and the Archangel Michael, so.
Now that's way before they even know his name.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it just kind of goes, it's kind of his thing.
Oh,
He's
hopefully
an angel man.
Well, hopefully we'll run into a boy in a desert planet.
If you're not an angel, then you must be the witch.
I thought I lost you there. I beg your pardon?
I'm just kidding. Don't bite my head off. You don't look anything like a witch.
He's not as far off the mark as he thinks. But he doesn't need to know about my childhood.
Oh, hey. Would you mind sparing a bit of water? My drove heart's like 12 kinds of hell. And I'm sure you'd appreciate being able to understand me better.
There's some right there.
Oh, you already got some for me? Thanks, I can't unband my damn arm. you mind grabbing that for me?
Did no one ever teach you how to say please?
Oh, lighten up, would ya? Show a dying fella some pity.
Me wouldn't have died if I'd left him out there. He was much feistier than I expected. In fact, it's not that alike like I imagined. When he's still lying half dead on the ground outside my door, there was a mystique about him. As a mummy, it was interesting, which gave an inherent value. But now that he was awake and talking, he was normal, human, almost excessively so. I reluctantly picked up the goblet and handed it to him, watching as he pulled down the wrappings covering his mouth to drink. It sounded like he wanted to down the whole thing in one go, but judging from the groans I heard, his body wasn't cooperating. A few years earlier, I may have sympathized with him, but not now. All I felt now was curiosity. What was this sick man doing in front of my mansion? What brings you here?
And you at least let me drink a piece? Let me tell you, man, I'm in no shape to be multitasking. It takes all my attention to just drink a glass of water. Plus, it's darker than hell in here. I can barely see what I'm doing.
You're free to leave if you're not happy here.
Once I'm through with this water and have had a chance to rest, and maybe a complimentary glass of wine on top of that to raise my spirits, I'll be right.
Rather brazen for a guest.
Oh, I'm a guest now, am I? I thought I was just a subject for your observation. Hit the nail on the head.
Are you implying that means you should have free reign here?
I am. I stopped worrying about a lot of things. You're on the verge of death. What's the worst that happens if you piss you off? You kill me? All that means is I lose a few days. No real risk can act like I own the place. Not a bad deal, if I do say so myself.
You're certainly lively and rather talkative for someone on the verge of death.
I did just have a hefty helping of the elixir of life.
I sighed to myself. Taking quite the high-maintenance specimen, it seemed. There wasn't going to be much worth observing when he's full of such vitality and his lips never stopped flapping. He was exactly the kind of person I could at least stand to be around. I could practically hear the witch saying, "See, what I tell you? You should have just listened to me, not wasted your time and energy." Which only made the whole thing that much worse. But curiously, I couldn't feel her presence, even though she was seemingly always around. Maybe she was afraid she might catch whatever disease this man had. Does spirits even get sick? Never mind her. I have more important things to deal with. Like, how to get this man out of my house.
Anyway, you were asking what I was doing here? Well, I was looking for something. And that search. Back up a sec. What is this place, anyway? Sure doesn't look like a teeny little one-man shack. Not that I can see much in this dark, but those furnishings don't look cheap.
It's a mansion.
Yours?
Half of it, roughly.
So, what? You live with someone?
In a sense.
I don't want to sound rude, but
Oh, we're well past rude at this point. Go on.
already making friends. Though I'm curious, there wouldn't happen to be any rumors about this place, would there?
Such as...
Like, say, a cursed witch dwells within its halls.
Oh, for the love of... That's what he was searching for?
Oh yeah, I'll take that silence as yes. Excellent! Fan-freaking-tastic! I was heading in the right direction. Let me stay here for a little, please.
Are you out of your mind?
I have a favor to ask the witch. That the whole reason I came here?
I don't know what you heard, but the witch doesn't want to go around doing people's favors. Whatever your wish is, it won't be granted here.
You never know. There's a first time for everything.
And now this is it. Why are you so fixated on the witch anyway? The witch of legend was said to be cursed. She was spoken of around these parts only whispers, and people stayed away from the mansion for fear of provoking her wrath. Her curse had utterly destroyed the entire city, it was said. I had no way of knowing whether that much was true or not, but I did know the witch was real. I couldn't figure out how someone could hear the rumors about the witch and decide, I'm going to ask her for a favor. It's beyond ludicrous.
Well, now that that's out of the way, thanks for the hospitality, buddy.
Stop right there. I never said you could stay.
Anything I could do to change that?
Not a thing.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but you left me with no choice. I'm staying with or without your permission.
What the hell makes you think you have the right?
I will happily comply with whatever the head honcho here decides. But remember, you said the mansion was only half yours. So until there's an anonymous agreement to butt me from everyone who is taking the property, I'm sticking around.
This little weasel.
I won't just be a straight-up leech, though. Don't you worry. If you need help with anything, chores, whatever, just give me a shout. But to do that, I guess you need to know what to shout, huh? Name's Imeon. Pleasure to meet you. Hey now, giving me the silent treatment? Is that how you gotta play this? But pretending I don't exist?
No. I just froze up for a moment. Looks like he's serious about staying. Which is a problem even setting aside the witch situation. The more contact of anyone, the greater risk there is that word of my survival finds a way out.
Oh, what?
That said, he isn't long for this world. This vigor won't last. That much is certain. In fact, it might be smart to keep an eye on them. I'm sure he's dead before I have the chance to tell anyone about me.
Hello? Need helping find your way out of your thoughts, buddy?
Definitely find you long before the witch does, I'm sure.
Yeesh, that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth. I've braced myself for that outcome already. But following the logic of that zinger, it sounds like you're giving your approval of my stay.
Resigning myself to it may be a better way to put it.
That's all the same to me. So, tell me, what's your name anyway? Unless you want me to stick with calling you an angel, or the witch's right hand, that's it.
I need those things, thank you very much.
So, what should I call you?
Michelle.
Hell, delivered from the angel of the Archangel Michael. What was that about you not being an angel again?
I have wanted to strangle someone this badly long time.
And what exactly do you think you're doing?
The witch spoke as once as soon as I stepped into my chambers. I could hear a voice right in my ear as if she was standing beside me, which was especially jarring as she had completely absent during my conversation with Imeon. She seemed to know what we had talked about, though, so I assume she has been spectating from a safe distance. What do you mean?
You're hardly the type to take in poor wandering souls on the whim.
You're right. I should have asked you first. This is your house, after all.
Half mine, I mean. I should be thankful you'll let me have half of it. But you're the master of the house. And I
Go on.
was never a master. So I have no say. You choose to let stay here.
But you'll heckle me about it.
Of course. I need my entertainment too. So, what are you going to do? Whatever his name.
Imeon.
Right, that. I was hoping you would chase that dreadful thing out.
He said he has business with you.
Oh, does he now?
So you weren't listening on the whole thing?
I'll be more happy to hover over you every waking moment, if that's what you prefer.
I'd rather you didn't.
As you can see, I respect your personal space. It wouldn't hurt you to show a bit of gratitude sometime. So, what does that man want with me?
Not a clue. All he said is he wanted to ask the witch a favor.
A favor?
Indeed.
What a farce.
I agree. You would never grant the wish of a...
No, not that. Now you happily passed on a stranger's request, but vehemently refused to make your own of me. The offer still stands, my dear. Just say the word, and I put a curse on your entire family.
I told you repeatedly that I'm not going to ask you to do that.
Obstinate as ever, I see.
Anyway, I never asked you to grant his wish, only conveyed to you that he had one. He'd be dead in short order regardless.
A week or two at most. How tragic for him, betting the last remains of his life, legend of a cursed witch, only to be dealt a pair of heartless chokers. In all likelihood, he just wants me to cure whatever disease.
Why would a witch who deals in curses cure diseases anyway?
For now, it's not polite to judge anyone by their appearance, my dear.
Are you saying you can do it?
Maybe, maybe not. Regardless, there is but one thing the two of us can do for him. Watch as the poor wretch's life slips away, alone and in the dark.
Chris! This is hell! I shouldn't be this exhausting to just walk through the hole. I'd sure love to get a little more light in here. Might make moving around easier. This is fine. Not light means I don't have to worry about how monstrous I look. This face is like a curse in itself. Okay, so the only place I haven't seen yet are this room and Michelle's room. And he made it very clear he didn't want me anywhere in this room, so... And rats, that makes this the last one. Here goes! Damn! A huge stained glass window set at the back of the chamber. The candle within casted a faint light across the room. The light almost burned my eyes, which were still acclimated to the darkness. I feel almost like I was in the presence of an actual divine being. So, we've got a guy named after an angel, and a stained glass angel window of an archangel. Whoever called this place cursed didn't look very hard, I guess. This is closer to a damn temple, if anything. As I approached the source of the light, the shape of the room came into view. Rows of pews, a pulpit, and a cross. Looked like a Michelle was right on the money. I wasn't a chapel. Or the remains of one, anyway. The wooden pew had rotten to the point of uselessness, and the floor was spilling all over the place. It was like an abandoned shrine to the saints, hidden away in the dark corners of the mansion. Fascinating. The worst of it's been mended, but you can still see the marks on the wall, where it looks like it's being struck with a sword or something. Did a battle take place here? There are spots of black on the floor. Bloodstains, maybe? There's something on the pulpit, too. Ah, my mask. I figured he threw it out. So, Michelle isn't all cold and heartless after all. Or maybe he just didn't feel like going outside. Who knows? Either way, I'll happily take it back. It has already seen my face, so it doesn't change much. But I feel better covering it up either way. My disease was highly stigmatized and said to be just as infectious. Not only was it obvious from my appearance, I was also required to carry around the bell to alert others of my presence. I lost that wild wander through the forest, but up until then, whenever I went into a tower city, I had to ring the bell as I walked. And surprise, surprise, it invited all sorts of dirty looks and people scrambling to get away from me. Churches would sometimes offer me aid, but that was a once-in-a-blue-moon occurrence. Effectively, I'd have been through nothing but help until now. I hadn't done a damn thing, and yet they treat me like a murderer. In fact, I'd almost bet a criminal didn't get half the crap I did. Just thinking about it killing my mood. They didn't hesitate to touch me, though. Does he not know that what I have is contagious or something? I mean, it makes my life easier at least. And speak of the goddamn devil. Hey there, Mitchell. It's been, what, a couple of hours?
I found Imeon in the chapel. He had put his mask back on, despite the fact I'd already seen what it had. I couldn't imagine whatever he gained from wearing it was worth the obstructed vision, but surely he had his reasons.
What a hell of an impressive window you've got there.
I had a pretty good guess where he was going with the train of thought, so entirely disinterested in humoring him. He would start off with something about how beautiful and awe-inspiring it was, mention the Archangel, then tried to lead it into...
You're gonna make a freaking fortune of this.
I beg your pardon?
This doesn't come cheap, especially not the colored stuff. I was thinking, If you found the right buyer, you could be a rolling dog.
Does he have any idea just how sacrilegious that is?
Let me guess, you're thinking. Does he have an idea how blasphemous that is? And now you're thinking, can this fella read my mind?
I am not.
You should say what's in your mind. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep saying it for ya.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not particularly talkative.
I'm not saying you have to yap on for days like me.
While what you said was indeed blasphemous, I do not disagree with the sentiment.
Oh, really?
It's just chunks of glass arranged into shapes.
Bingo! There's no actual angel there. Just man's description of one.
Who are you, anyway?
Well, that sure came out of nowhere. And you won't fill my guts without doing the same for me?
My apologies. I've not had a chance to hold a conversation in some time.
I see.
You're not obligated to say something you do not wish to. We're not answer, yet ask me the same.
Sounds like we're on the same page then. The more we're sure, the more uncomfortable it's going to make it for everyone. So let's keep things the way they were. A nice, cozy distance. I may be curious as I'll get out about what the hell you're doing out here, all alone in the middle of freaking out. But I won't pry. Alright, I'll tell you what I can. I'm a nomad. Before I got sick, I traveled all across the land. Had me a nice load at this room as I trotted from place to place, singing songs and pretending I was a troubadour.
You are a traveler?
I could tell stories of my exploits for days on end when I hear them.
I'll pass, thank you.
Or else, tell me your lie, buddy.
I'd rather you listened to what I said.
More stories over dinner then. Sounds like a date. Oh, I've got a little question for you if you don't mind. Not about where you came from or anything, I promise.
Yes?
Why didn't you say anything about my face?
I assumed you were going to ask about the witch, not me.
Hard not to be curious, you know. Everyone's grossed out by it.
It makes a fair point. Even Morgana was taken back by the sight. Can't imagine he would appear monstrous to someone who's led a relatively normal life. He's probably been subjected to less than charitable treatment for it. Which makes me wonder, how is he not drained and jaded by now? I don't understand how he could be so spirited. I've seen the kind of hardships that could be brought onto someone by their appearance.
Oh, what you're saying is, it's nothing new to you.
Correct. I did think it was a little unusual, but nothing more. I understand your ailment is contagious.
Huh? An ill? Why did you help me then? Why didn't you hesitate to touch me? You carried me into the mansion. You handed me water, all the while knowing you could be infected.
I couldn't figure out how to honestly explain my actions. Part of it was me deliberately acting against Morgana's wishes, frustrated by her repeated insistence that I kill him. The aura of death that hung over him was the biggest factor. There's something indescribably alluring about it. All I'll say is, I would have left you if you were in good health.
No. Lydie. You've got nothing to gain from helping me. I don't have any money. And I'm definitely not a hot babe.
I have no interest in money or women. And to be clear, I didn't bring you in out of the goodness of my heart either. When you said you thought you were a subject from my observation, you were correct. You're here predominantly because I want to observe a withered, half-dead mummy of a man.
A mummy, huh? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but I am just an ordinary guy.
Unfortunately so.
And here I thought you were only observing me because you didn't know about my disease. Never would have guessed that it was the other way around. God, you really were one of the most deserved fellas I've ever had. I was just going to not say anything. Keep it to myself. Yes, this is a chance to stretch my wings. You're not just being the unclean for once. Didn't much care either if you ended up catching it. The
Witch has declined your request to speak with her.
Not even gonna let me finish, huh? I'll take that as no apologies necessary then. Oh shit.
You had no reason to remain here. I left the bar out the front door for you.
The wish was my last resort. I saw who knows how many doctors. Not one could do a thing. Now, as soon as they saw me, the assholes tried me to rob me blind with fees. Oh, cost extra cause they're putting themselves at risk, they claim. So I traveled to other cities, town, village. The docs weren't gonna do anything. Maybe I do have better lucky with regional remedies. Everything from herbal stuff to straight up hocus pocus. No effect. End of it.
I have no interest in apology or his life story. So why haven't I turned and left it yet? Why am I still standing here, listening to him talk?
All that left for me was to turn to was God and the devil. But I figured God would just say, accept your lot in life. Shrug his shoulder and tell me to die in a ditch. But I wanted to leave.
Even looking like that?
Damn right.
So, what? Do you believe that if you tough it out, one day your valiant efforts would pay off? That there's light at the end of the tunnel? because that's all fairy tale nonsense.
You're right. The real world doesn't work like that. We just tell ourselves it does, because it makes easier to get through the day. But the fact of it is, life's a big old swamp, and no one's got a map. One wrong step, and it swallows you whole, like a game designed by a goddamn 5-year-old. The odds are stacked against you, but like how I'm gonna go down without a fight? I've got nothing to show for it yet. Which is exactly why I'm not ready to kick the bucket.
You never will have anything to show for it either. Your desire to make something your life will only serve to drag you deeper into the depths. The more you tell yourselves you can, the greater your pain when you realize you can't.
Sounds a hell of a lot like you're speaking from experience, buddy.
As I said, the witch would not be seeing you. You would do best to look elsewhere to fulfill your dying wishes.
I never know, buddy. Tomorrow's another day. Maybe she'll be in a more accommodating mood then. But I'm sure not gonna let one measly no get the better of me.
The witch
The
Morgana.
witch.
I'm talking
Sorry.
here, Imeon. The witch Morgana is this sadistic woman. If she reveals herself to you, it will only to be torture and kill you.
Can't say death, but scares me these days. It's knocking on my door regardless. And you can never say for sure. Every woman's got a list two masks she switches between. Maybe she'll pick a friendlier one for me than she does for you.
You're a damn fool if you believe that. If she's a witch, if she would hear you out, she doesn't have the power to hear you. Ruin and destruction is her singular desire.
I have to ask. All you want from me is to watch me die, right? So what do you have to gain from warning me about the witch? Doesn't worrying about me run counter to your own wishes?
I'm hardly worried about you.
Could have fooled me.
I'm simply making a statement of fact. You'll only be wasting your time trying to see a witch.
I haven't seen the proof, so I'm not convinced it is as much of a fact as you claim. Which means this conversation's going exactly nowhere.
Do as you please. I won't try to chase you out anymore, but don't come crying to me when my words prove true.
Much obliged, buddy. That's one less hurdle to trip over on my way to making a huge ass out of myself.
I would like you to promise me one thing, though.
Sure thing.
I'll leave the bar out the front door, so when the time comes, make sure you save enough energy to get yourself outside before you die. I don't want to have to clean up the mess.
You're a real threat, buddy. After a little chat, Michelle gave me permission to make use of anything in the mansion. I still came with the condition that I stayed away from his room, didn't pry into his personal life. But that seemed fair enough, considering I didn't want him digging into mine either. In fact, I couldn't have asked for a better arrangement. After so long wandering, with all the constant uncertainty, having a roof over my head and meals at my convenience was heaven on earth. He had dried foods and smoked meats in his cellar, as well as bread, which, last I checked, didn't store for very long. But he never seemed to leave the house, so I did recall hearing some rumors on my way here. Whispers of a shadowy carriage, occasionally seen heading toward the cursed man. No one knew for sure what it carried, but there was a general consensus. Offerings to the witch. Fresh sacrifices to keep her peace, which was obvious nonsense. No one was sending shipments of virgins to offer to the witch. A basket of bread and other supplies now, maybe. Rumors have a way of taking a life of their own, but that was so patently absurd, I couldn't believe anyone bought it. That is still with me, left me with scores of questions though. Who was bringing Michelle the supplies, and for what purpose? Why did he never leave? Was he imprisoned here for some inquiry? But obviously, I had no intention of seeking out the answers. If we spent long enough together, I would probably find out eventually. But I knew damn well I didn't have that kind of time left. What point was there to lifting the curtains on someone else's life when chances were I was going to croak not long after? I had no intention of repeating Pandora's mistake. If I was going to spend my last days here, living with him, I wasn't going to get anywhere near that jar and risk making waves. I couldn't say whether or not that was the best strategy. But regardless, I made through our first 2 weeks together well enough. And in those 2 weeks, it seemed like the two of us were talking more and more. I was standing before the stained glass window. It had become routine for me to spend a few hours of each far long day in the mansion's chapel. I wasn't so naive as to think the angel would grant me relief, but I did sort of enjoy being in the presence of something so magnificent and undeniably beyond my reach. It was impressive in the same way any other massively expensive piece of art. Now that I think about it, I never really appreciated art when I was younger. Couldn't even tell the difference between what was good and bad. Maybe because I was just a kid? Or because there was nothing there to appreciate.
Imeon. Imeon?
Oh, hey, sorry. Lost in my thoughts. What's the occasion? You almost never initiate.
I need your help with something.
Damn, is the sky gonna fall today? So, what can I do for ya?
I'm gonna cover up the stained glass window.
You're gonna what?
It seemed unsurprisingly that was the last thing I had expected to come out of my mouth. And the incredulity was obvious even in his raspy old man's voice. I could easily imagine the expression you might be making beneath the mask, if you had a face left to make it with.
Would ask you for a reason, Countess Bry.
No particular reason. I simply dislike the sight of it.
Well, that's a damn shame. I rather enjoyed my time with it.
I seem to recall you saying it was nothing more than colored glass.
In a spiritual sense, sure. But do I look like I'm praying to it? No, I'm admiring the craftsmanship. It's one hell of a piece.
I see.
I've pretty much got the thing memorized by now, so sure, let me give you a hand.
Thank you. Follow me. I gave Imeon a quick glance, then start off down the hall. I walked at a relaxed pace because as much as he tried to hide it, he was visibly more sluggish than 2 weeks prior. Even breathing seemed to be an endeavor for him. As I walked, I made sure he was keeping up by the sound of his footsteps, but never once did I turn back to look. Facing away, I said, "You didn't have to come along."
Excuse me, you're the one who asked me to.
Don't you think it's a bit inconsiderate to ask someone in your condition to do hard physical labor? No one with any common decency would do that.
Well, I guess that puts you in the clear. I'm just joking. Don't bite my head off.
I didn't say anything.
I wouldn't say I think it's inconsiderate, personally. In fact, I really appreciate you not giving me special treatment of any kind. You don't go easy on me because I'm sick. You don't put me through the ringer for it either. I prefer that way. Us both on level ground.
If you say so.
I know I just said I appreciate you not going easy on me. But this is a bit much, don't you think? And holy hell, this room's 10 times mustier than the rest of the joint. I got it. This is really frickin' roundabout way of murder, isn't it?
I told you that I didn't have to help. The two of us were looking down on the old, weathered bundle of cloth. It had been in the mansion longer than even I had. It was a single piece, large enough to cover the entire stained glass window, and thick enough to blot out its light. Fabric was far heavier than most people realize, and something this thick and tightly woven was going to weigh a ton. I knew I wouldn't be able to carry it to the chapel by myself. You're free to head back to your room.
Guys, just give me a second. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Wait, there's a bathroom in this place?
Apparently so, yes.
Well, it seems like you're backing out right now, so... I'm talking to a witch and a mummy. What am I doing with my life?
Halloween came early.
Apparently.
You're the one going insane.
Back.
Welcome back, Imeon.
I'll do it. I'm not backing out now.
Huh.
Guys, there's not a chance in hell you're getting this up there alone. It's not that long of a walk from here to the chapel, I think. Alright, let's do it. Hold on. I need a breath. Hey, don't drop it without warning me, asshole. What trying to act like you're hot shit? I can't see you're just landed as me.
What do you know? I'm perfectly fine.
Someone is out of shape.
You're the last person I want to hear that from.
Hey now, at least I have an excuse. You're in perfect freaking health. And look at me, I'm half dead here. If I got sick, I could run for 24 hours straight, no problem.
All right, let's get going.
Are you deaf? Fun with it. That serious stuff. I will die before I got here. That's one from the gravestone. I'd carry a bundle of fabric. Try to listen anymore.
Not a word. Duh. Where's this coming from? And please, don't cough and laugh at the same time. It's disturbing.
I don't know. It's
What is?
I don't think this is the funniest damn thing in the world. Gross man carrying a giant shit through the dark, grading themselves to the bone so they don't have to look at a pretty stained glass window.
Por que você tá falando desse jeito?
É que eu tô interpretando um personagem que tá doente.
Ah, tá. É uma interpretação.
Like, for real, are you hearing that? It's a stupid thing.
I gotta say I find it amusing myself.
Well, you're lost, buddy. Let's finish this up then, shall we? I assume the puppet is an add-on, so we can get that, just some hate.
He seems to be enjoying himself. I can't imagine him enjoying much of anything in that kind of condition. Not sure if I ever understand him. The way he's being self-beat, it's kind of bringing me down. Why should my acting cheerful have any effect on me? I buried that emotion long ago. What are you doing here exactly?
Haven't we been over this? I want to ask the witch.
You know, fool, I don't need to tell you that the witch isn't real. For the past 2 weeks, I let Imeon explore the house as he pleased. You've likely seen everything from my chambers by now. Should have been obvious there was no third person living here. I was the only one who could hear the witch's voice. I was the only one who could feel her presence. All the servants that my family has sent over the years were proof of that. She may have existed for me, but from his perspective, there's no meaningful difference between that and her not existing at all. Remember what he said in his storeroom? There's not a chance in hell to get up there alone. He'll still believe the witch was real. He'll still believe there was a third person living in this mansion. He would have said that. What do you want from this place? Somewhere to die? Do you want to make this your final resting place?
Someone's feeling talkative today.
This isn't funny.
It's comfortable here. There is warmth into the darkness. It doesn't reject me from being pure.
Impure?
That's what everybody says about me. I have to say, no say the matter. I have an impure disease. Oh, that makes me impure. I think it is storm time. What I say? This time, we'll go into little. My life was sad. I had dozens of friends and a wonderful, loving family. I didn't bother with the family business. Dad spending my days wandering. But on one of my trips, I got sick. I got scared. So I rushed back home, wanting nothing more than to see my family and friends again. But when I got there, no one recognized me as me. They called me a demon impersonate their Imeon.
A demon.
He's saying the Bollinger family has no need for a demon child. That you're a mark of shame on our name. He's gonna have you executed. Yes, my accent has changed.
They came to the consensus that the real Imeon was still off traveling. They wouldn't accept me for who I was, just because I didn't look like they thought I should.
What does that have to do with my question?
Basically, what I'm saying is, there's not many people who are willing to see the truth.
The truth?
That I am who I say I am. That I'm Imeon, not some evil doppelganger. The only person who sees me as an ordinary fella is you, Michelle.
I did not agree with Father's decision. I do not want to lose you. I don't think you're a demon child.
Don't misconstrue apathy for it.
I don't care why. All that matters is that you do. You see me for who I am. That's the most amazing feeling.
I haven't done anything to warrant that reaction. If there's one thing I can tell you, it's that it's foolish to rely on someone for emotional support. Don't blindly put your trust in me. Don't expect anything out of me. Please.
I get sad. I don't care why.
As I stood there in silence, Imeon's laugh echoed off in the chapel's walls. He then climbed onto the pulpit. It was probably brutal on his joints, though he didn't show it. Crossed his legs and looked up at the glass angel. His arms were thin as twigs, his voice raspy as an old man's, his hair devoid of all sheen, his entire body deteriorating. Even the most callous of men would cringe at the piteous sight. Yet he sat there with his head held high, a smug smirk on his face. For a split second, the thought crossed my mind that if the name Michelle did belong to me, but to him instead, I would have been able to just laugh out that painting. As soon as I caught myself, I froze.
Back to your question. What do you think? Why do I want to stay here even though the witch doesn't exist?
I knew what he wanted me to say. I knew that I couldn't. I hadn't done a single thing to deserve that from him. What he felt was disproportionate to reality.
Silent treatment again? You'll figure it out, though. I know you have. There's your answer. If I were even half what I used to be, I do love to drag you out of this house, kicking and screaming. Travel far and wide together. Find a place you feel more at home than anywhere else in the world. Be nice, wouldn't it?
Leave me out of your fantasies. You only think that way because he had led such a cushy life. He may come crashing down when he got sick, but only someone who had been well off would ever think there was hope to be found outside. And on top of that, he was simple and honest enough to admit it. I'm just jealous of him. And that's all this is.
Take a seat up here, on the pulpit with me. Feels like you're shoving your ass right in God's face. I wish you'd have tried this sooner. That's freaking incredible. Yes. Between the two of us, a guy who probably couldn't overpower a rabbit and someone on death's den doorstep. Covering up the stained glass window was a grueling task. That day marked a turning point in our relationship, though. It was an insignificant change. Nothing I doubt anyone but us would even be able to notice. But it wasn't the degree that mattered. There was a real shift in the air between us. Michelle didn't seem to be so persistently wary of me anymore. And I started to feel more relaxed in his presence. I didn't have to prove anything to anyone here. In part because he didn't pry into my personal life. But also because my time was so limited, I didn't have any reason to keep up a front anymore. The biggest factor, though, was that no one knew who I was.
From time to time, Imeon and I would have supper together. I wasn't going out of my way to spend time with them, but I didn't particularly mind it either. I had no reason to. We stayed out of each other's business, and both knew it was a temporary arrangement. As his disease worsened, his once exasperating vigor started to seem more and more obviously like a facade. When he spoke, it was like I could hear the remnants of his fading soul spill out with each gravelly syllable. It was getting difficult to make out what he said at all. But still, he persisted to act as though nothing was wrong around me. So I acted in kind, making sure not to touch on his deteriorating condition.
You know, I never did get around to talking about my adventures.
Nobody's stopping you.
You could just be honest and say you want to hear. I can see it in your eyes. You love adventure stories. Not only that, you want to go and sun yourself.
We could not be further from the truth.
Alright then, let's see. How about the story of the Battle of the Northlands? About 5 years back, I was traveling the long far north. And the snowfall over the land in the winter, stretching as far as the eye can see. The arrival of spring, it would melt and rejuvenate the earth. It was a lot colder up north than it is down here, but the lands were fertile nonetheless. And naturally, where there's fertile land, there's people fighting over it. The countries, one to the east and one to the west, fought for control over this particular area. I watched the battle from the safety of a nearby hill. The theater for this battle was a large plain, a sea situated to the north. Separating the two was a river flowing south from the sea. It wasn't a very deep river though. Both horses and infantry could cross it, albeit with some difficulty. The Western arm attacked first. They outnumbered and were better equipped than the Eastern Army. Their soldiers were trained and commanders helped. Planning and organization allowed them to cross the river with ease. Once they were on the other side, they stormed the Eastern Arm. Now, how do they suppose the battle went?
It would make for a very good story if the Western Army simply went on to defeat the Eastern Army. Because you're asking, I presume the Eastern Army has something up their sleeve?
Yes, you're the worst kind of person to tell a story to, buddy. Play along at least, would ya?
I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not a child listening to a bedtime story.
Well, you're right about one thing. I would have framed things differently if the Western Army was going to win. Maybe going into detail about how advanced their equipment was, how strong their soldiers were, then drop the commander or two. But no, the Western Army did not conquer the Eastern Army. In fact, they were both defeated.
Oh?
Yep, thanks to the intervention of a third force. Now, where do you suppose this mysterious third force came from?
It was the Danes.
You've gotta be kidding me, you suck at this.
Well, given what you described, two sides divided by a river flowing from a sea to the north, the larger Western Army crossing over it to take the Eastern Army by surprise, the logical conclusion is that a third force would travel down the aforementioned river. He just saw his ships able to sail such shallow waters, so they didn't anticipate an attack from the river. The Danes to the north, however, had numerous ships capable of exactly that. That's what they feared as the lords of the sea.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thanks for skipping all the good parts and going straight to the answer. A fleet of ships with dragon heads on both ends sailed down the river. After the western arm crossed it, quickly making land. The Danes are fearsome warriors, and big boys at that. They attacked both armies from behind, taking them out in no time. And the land fell into the hands of the invaders from the north. Then, once it was all over, I hauled us right the hell out of there.
I've only read of the Danes' fearsome prowess in books. For you to witness an actual ambush.
Ellos? See, what did I tell you? You're all about these adventure stories.
I am not.
Well, I sure am. The Danes, they can travel both shallow waters and the open sea. The whole world is at their fingertips. Everyone just thinks they're savage. They don't see the potential. I wonder what's out there across the seas. What wondrous world awaits beyond those waters? I bet it's heaven on earth out there. A land unlike any find traveling on foot.
So long as man infests the surface, you will find no heaven on this earth.
I knew you weren't a people person, but hot damn, you're worse than I ever imagined. You can't make it through life on a misanthropy and cynicism alone. Someone needs to teach you how to dream.
Dreams are just that. Fantasy never to be realized.
Dreams are freedom. Doesn't matter if you're sick or a sinner, infirm or exiled. Anywhere inside your head. You have complete, absolute freedom in your dream.
All empty hopes and dreams do is erode the spirit. You give a mind for a reason.
If I were in good health, I could have asked the Danes to take me on one of their longships. Bring me somewhere far, far away. A place where everyone's fun. No poor and no custom. No one being judged for their looks or the family where they were. And I could have gone on another adventure. Out you alone this time. Found out paradise.
I'm pretty sure the only way you're getting on a longship is as a captive to the Danes.
It remember what I said about dreams? Like 3 seconds ago? Shove that silly realism in a box and lock it up. You can dream whatever sort of crazy, courageous nonsense you are.
Imeon?
Don't worry about so back to this story time. After I escaped from the place, I crossed paths with this incredible part. This one's gonna blow your mind, sure.
I'm sure. I didn't tell him not to push himself. He knew his own condition far better than me. I didn't have to tell him continuing was a bad idea. My role is to be quiet and listen. Imeon has sung for me a song he's supposed to learn from the bard. I could sing better than this back then, he said, with a strange laugh before beginning the raspy ballad. Every note meant it in his sort of indistinct flat buzz, but was still somehow pleasant to listen to. Perhaps because I could imagine what his voice may have sounded like in its prime. A bright, optimistic, unwavering, powerful voice. Audible and enchanting because it existed only in my imagination. As I listened to him sing, so much that I kept sealed away slowly crept back into the surface. I felt like I was being whisked away into a far distant land by the tales of his exploits in the bard's song. With Imeon, his hand held out, waiting to take mine. The words, "Let's set off to a new world, buddy," on his lips. But his time on this earth was drawing to a close. Those fantasies faded to fate, into nothing. Let's stop here for
You
tonight.
aren't si-
Yeah, just finish that.
Thanks,
No
guys.
point now. Have a good one.
Completely ruined my trove.
I bet.
The effort's appreciated.
Yes.
I mean, my brother and my mother came to my room thinking that I was like, yeah, she got COVID. Fuck.
She's dying. No.
Yeah, my brother was worried. I was like, no, I'm just interpreting. Fuck that word. I'm just reading stuff for a game with my friends.
Yes.
You're dying for your art, Gabby, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the part I started coughing, and they were like, really, yeah, she got COVID. She's going to die. Let's call an ambulance. Anyways, really, thanks, guys, for having me. Hope you like it, because my troves sure didn't. I'm gonna look for a pastille. I don't know, the thing you put in your mouth to make your trove stop hurting.
Relax
plenty of
and let
water.
your
Eat
Yes.
ice
throat
cream.
rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, have some more
I
ice
think
cream.
like I done like 1 liter of water. Because like there were 2 bottles and my bottle is 500 ml, so yeah. I legit drank a lot of water. Nice. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Same care.
Have a good
Have a
one.
nice week, everybody.
You too.
You too.
Well, I guess I'll check with everyone during the week to see their availability. Otherwise,
Sure thing.
have a good night yourselves.
Yes.
Take care, everybody. Peace.
Everybody take it easy. Bye.
Bye.